Imagine planning the most important day of your life, your wedding. Everything is perfectly organized. The venue is booked, the dress is chosen, the guest list is finalized. And then something happens that tears your entire family apart. Today, I'm telling you the story of Sarah, who had to make a decision that changed her family forever. Was she right? Or did she go too far? You decide. Sarah, 28 years old, was over the moon. After 5 years together, her boyfriend Mark had finally proposed. It was a perfect moment on the beach at sunset, exactly as she had always dreamed. The two had met through mutual friends. Mark was everything Sarah had ever wanted, loving, supportive, and he got along great with her family. Or at least, she thought he did. Sarah came from a traditional family. Her mother Linda had always been very present in her life. Maybe a little too present, as some friends sometimes remarked. But Sarah never saw it as a problem. Her mother only wanted the best for her. She also had a younger sister, Emma, 25 years old. Emma and Sarah had a complicated relationship. As children, they had been inseparable, but in recent years, something had changed. Emma had always been the wild sister, the one who rebelled against rules, who had dramatic relationships, who didn't follow the traditional path. Sarah, on the other hand, was the good child, good grades, stable job, now the perfect engagement. When Sarah announced the news to her family, the reaction was mixed. Her mother Linda hugged her, crying, "My baby is getting married. I can't believe it. We have so much to plan." Her father congratulated her warmly, though somewhat reserved. He liked Mark, but Sarah could see it was hard for him to let go of his little girl. But Emma? Emma just smiled briefly and said, "Congratulations. That's great for you." Sarah immediately sensed something was wrong. But she decided to ignore it. This was her big moment, and she wouldn't let it be ruined. The wedding was planned for September, about a year later. That would give enough time to organize everything. Sarah wanted a medium-sized wedding, about 120 guests, elegant but not too showy. In the first weeks after the engagement, everything was exciting. She searched for venues, tried on dresses, collected ideas on Pinterest. Mark was less involved, but that was okay. Sarah knew that wedding planning was traditionally more of a bride thing. Her mother Linda, however, was very involved. She had opinions about everything: the venue, the colors, the menu, even the guest list. "You absolutely must invite Aunt Margaret," Linda insisted. "She would be so hurt if you didn't." "And what about your cousins?" "They all have to come. That's what families do." Sarah wanted to make her mother happy, so she agreed to most suggestions. The guest list slowly grew from 80 to 100, then to 120 people. Mark noticed at some point, "Honey, we barely know half these people. Is this really our wedding or a family reunion?" But Sarah reassured him. "It's just one day. Let's just make everyone happy." What she didn't know, this desire to make everyone happy would soon become her biggest problem. Started harmlessly enough. Sarah wanted her best friend Jessica as her maid of honor. The two had known each other since elementary school, and Jessica had always been there for her. When Sarah told Emma, her sister was disappointed. Very disappointed. "I thought I would be your maid of honor," Emma said with a mixture of hurt and anger in her voice. "Emma, you're of course one of my bridesmaids." Sarah tried to appease. "You, Jessica, and 2 more of my friends. You'll all be so important on that day." "But not important enough for maid of honor," Emma shot back. Sarah felt caught between a rock and a hard place. She loved her sister, but Jessica was her best friend. Why should she feel guilty about this decision? "Emma, please understand. Jessica and I have been best friends for over 20 years. That doesn't mean you're not important to me." Emma didn't respond, just left the room. In the following weeks, Emma became increasingly distant. She no longer responded to Sarah's messages about wedding details. At family dinners, she was quiet and withdrawn. Sarah tried several times to talk to her, but Emma blocked her off. "I'm busy," was her standard answer. Then, about a month later, something happened that made everything even more complicated. Sarah learned through mutual acquaintances that Emma had a new relationship with a man named Jake. And Jake was controversial. He was 10 years older than Emma. He had 2 failed marriages behind him. He didn't have a stable job and was currently living on a friend's couch. Sarah heard the rumors, but she didn't want to judge. Everyone deserves a chance, she thought. But then she met Jake for the first time at a family dinner. And it was uncomfortable. Jake came in ripped jeans and a band t-shirt to a formal Sunday dinner. He made inappropriate jokes. He spoke disparagingly about Emma, even though he presented it as fun. Worst was a comment he made at the dinner table: "Emma told me you're the good sister. The one who does everything right. Must be boring, always being so perfect." Sarah was speechless. Her mother Linda was visibly shocked. Her father looked like he wanted to throw Jake out the door. Only Emma defended him: "Jake's just joking. You all take everything way too seriously." After dinner, Sarah pulled Emma aside. "Emma, what are you doing? This guy isn't good for you." Emma exploded. "Of course you say that. You with your perfect mark and your perfect wedding. You can't even stand that I'm happy too." "That's not fair," Sarah defended herself. "I just want you to be with someone who treats you well." "Jake treats me better than anyone else in this family," Emma screamed. "He's the only one who accepts me as I am. Not like you, always with your expectations and your judgment." Sarah tried to respond, but Emma had already left. In the following weeks, the situation became even more tense. Emma constantly posted pictures with Jake on social media. Pictures that were obviously provocative: Jake with a beer bottle in his hand, Emma on his lap, comments like "finally someone who understands me" and "real love doesn't need approval." Sarah tried to ignore it. She had a wedding to plan. But her mother Linda was obsessed with it. "Did you see what your sister posted now?" Linda called almost daily. "This Jake is a disaster. Someone needs to talk to Emma. Mom, she's an adult. She has to make her own mistakes. But what will people think? What if she brings him to the wedding?" That was a thought that actually worried Sarah. Her wedding was supposed to be an elegant, respectful day. Jake didn't fit that picture. But she wasn't ready to make that decision yet. Not yet. 3 months before the wedding, Sarah sent out the official save the dates. Small, elegant cards with the date and location. Emma received her card addressed only to her. 2 days later, Sarah received an angry message from Emma. "I noticed Jake isn't invited." "Very subtle, Sarah. I thought family was important to you. But apparently only when we fit into your perfect little picture." Sarah hesitated a long time before responding. She wrote several drafts, deleted them all. Finally, she wrote back. "Emma, we've decided on a smaller wedding. Not all partners are invited, only fiancés and spouses, or relationships that have lasted longer than 2 years. That's the rule for all guests, not just for you." That wasn't entirely true. There were exceptions to this rule. But Sarah had to draw a line. Emma's response came immediately. "Don't lie to me. I saw that cousin David gets to bring his new girlfriend, and they've only been together for 4 months. But sure, my relationship doesn't count. As always." Sarah sighed. Emma was right, cousin David was allowed to bring his girlfriend. But that was different. His girlfriend was normal. Polite. Appropriate. But could she tell Emma that? Could she be honest and say, "I don't want Jake at my wedding because he's uncomfortable and disrespectful"? She chose silence. A mistake, as it would turn out. 2 months before the wedding, everything escalated. It was a Saturday afternoon. Sarah had invited all the bridesmaids to brunch to try on dresses. Emma came late, an hour and a half late. And she didn't come alone. Jake was with her. "Sorry, we had a late night," Emma said without real apology. Jake just grinned. The other bridesmaids were visibly uncomfortable. Jessica whispered to Sarah, "Why is he here? This is a girls' event." Sarah tried to salvage the situation. "Jake, this is actually just for the bridesmaids. Maybe you could." "Oh," Emma said. "Partners are welcome," Jake interrupted. "I won't stay long. Do your thing." He sat on the couch, pulled out his phone and started watching videos loudly. Without headphones. Sarah took a deep breath. She didn't want to fight, not today. The bridesmaid dresses were tried on. Everyone looked beautiful, elegant, floor-length dresses in a soft rosewood tone. Everyone except Emma. I don't know, Emma said, looking at herself in the mirror. This color doesn't suit me at all. And the cut is so traditional. Emma, we chose these dresses together, Sarah reminded her. You agreed back then. That was before I knew what they really looked like. Jake chimed in, without looking up from his phone, she's right. The color is weird. Looks like grandma style. The mood in the room became icy. Jessica, normally diplomatic, couldn't hold back anymore. Excuse me, but this is Sarah's wedding. It's her day, her choice. Jake stood up. Wow, relax. I was just stating my opinion. That nobody wanted to hear, murmured one of the other bridesmaids. Emma turned around angrily. What did you say? The situation threatened to explode. Sarah tried to mediate. Please, can we all just take a breath? Emma, if you really don't like the dress, we can talk about alternatives. Oh, so now I'm the problem? Emma practically tore the dress off her body. I'm tired of always being the difficult one in this family. The one who has to adapt. The one whose opinions don't matter. Emma, it's not like that. Yes, it is exactly like that. You with your perfect wedding, your perfect life. And me? I can't even bring my boyfriend. We already discussed this. No, you decided. Without talking to me. Without considering my feelings. Jake put his hand on Emma's shoulder. Come on, baby. You don't need this stress. Let's go. Emma nodded, tears in her eyes. You know what, Sarah? Maybe I just won't come to your wedding at all. Then you don't have to worry about me ruining your perfect picture. Emma, wait. But they were already out the door. Sarah broke down in tears. The other bridesmaids tried to comfort her, but the damage was done. In the following days, Sarah tried several times to reach Emma. Calls, messages, even a visit to her apartment. Nothing. Emma completely ignored her. Finally, Sarah turned to her mother Linda. Mom, can you please talk to Emma? She won't answer the phone. Linda sighed heavily. Darling, I tried. She says you humiliated her in front of your friends. And that you're discriminating against Jake. Discriminating? I just set boundaries. I know. But Emma sees it differently. You know your sister, once she set her mind on something. What am I supposed to do? It's my wedding. Linda was silent for a moment. Then she said something Sarah didn't expect. Maybe you should invite Jake. Just for the sake of peace. What? Mom, you said yourself that he's impossible. He is. But Emma is your sister. Is it really worth risking your relationship for one day? Sarah was stunned. Her own mother was turning against her? I can't believe you're saying this. After everything that's happened. I'm saying it because I want to see both my daughters on your wedding day. Together. As a family. Sarah hung up. She was angry, hurt, confused. Mark found her crying on the couch. What's wrong, honey? Sarah told him everything, the fight with Emma, her mother's reaction, the ultimatum. Mark listened patiently. Then he said calmly. Sarah, this is our wedding. Not Emma's. Not your mother's. Ours. If you don't want Jake there, then we don't invite him. It's that simple. But what if Emma doesn't come because of it? Then that's her decision. You can't be held hostage to her moods for the rest of your life. Sarah knew he was right. But it still felt wrong. The decision had to be made. In 3 days, the final place cards had to be printed. Sarah lay awake at night, weighing the options back and forth. Option 1, invite Jake to make Emma happy. But risk him behaving inappropriately and ruining the day. Option 2, don't invite Jake and hope Emma comes anyway. But risk her not coming and the family breaking apart permanently. Option 3, have one last, honest conversation with Emma. Put all cards on the table. Sarah decided on option 3. She wrote Emma a long message. Emma, we need to talk. Face to face. Please give me a chance. Coffee house, tomorrow at 3? I'll be there. I hope you will too. To her surprise, Emma actually responded. Okay. But Jake is coming with me. Sarah hesitated. Then she wrote back. No. Just the two of us. This is between sisters. The response came after a long 10 minutes. Fine. But it won't change anything. The next day, Sarah and Emma sat across from each other at the coffee house. The atmosphere was tense. Sarah began, Emma, I love you. You're my sister, and I want you at my wedding. But. Emma crossed her arms. But I can't invite Jake. And before you explode again, let me explain why. Emma wanted to interrupt, but Sarah raised her hand. Please. Just listen to me. Just this once. Emma nodded reluctantly. Jake has shown disrespectful behavior at several family occasions. He's made inappropriate comments, he's insulted Mark and me, and he's generally shown that he doesn't care about our family events. That's not just my opinion, Mom, Dad, everyone has noticed it. That's because you never gave him a real chance. Emma, please. I'm not finished. Sarah took a deep breath. My wedding is one of the most important days of my life. I've been planning for months, spent thousands of dollars, and I want it to be a beautiful, peaceful day. I have genuine concern that Jake won't respect that. And it's not just about me, it's also about Mark, about our families, about all the guests. You're judging him before giving him a chance. I did give him chances. Multiple times. At the family dinner. At the brunch. Every time there was a problem. Emma was silent, but Sarah could see she was seething inside. Here's my offer, Sarah continued. You're my sister. You're invited. You're even still one of my bridesmaids, if you want. But Jake is not invited. That's my final decision. That's not an offer, Emma said coldly. That's an ultimatum. Call it what you want. But that's the reality. Emma stood up. Then you have your answer. If Jake isn't welcome, neither am I. Emma, please. No. You made your choice. Now I'm making mine. Emma left the cafe. Sarah sat there for a long time, staring at her cold coffee cup, wondering if she had just made a terrible mistake. After the conversation at the cafe, things got even worse. Emma posted on Facebook a long, emotional post about toxic family members who put conditions on love. She didn't name names, but everyone in the family knew who she meant. The comments were divided. Some of Emma's friends supported her, you deserve better, family. Stay strong. But some family members also commented on Emma's side. Aunt Caroline wrote, family should accept family, no matter what. I'm disappointed by this situation. Cousin Michael, weddings are for everyone. Nobody should be excluded. Sarah was horrified. Half the family was now publicly discussing their private conflict. She called her mother. Mom, did you see what's happening on Facebook? Linda sounded tired. Yes, I saw. Sarah, this is escalating completely. Maybe you should. Don't tell me I should give in. I'm just saying, think about it. Emma now has half the family on her side. This is going to be a disaster. Half the family? Who? Linda hesitated. Well. Aunt Caroline called me. And Uncle Peter. And your grandmother. Sarah's heart sank. What did they say? They don't understand why you're being so hard. They say 1 more + 1 doesn't make a difference. It's not about a +1. It's about the principle. I know, darling. But they see it differently. Some have even hinted that they might not come if Emma doesn't come. Sarah couldn't believe it. Her own family was practically blackmailing her. Let them not come then, it burst out of her. Silence on the other end of the line. Sarah, do you mean that? I don't know. I'm just so frustrated. Why doesn't anyone understand my position? Because family is complicated, darling. And sometimes there's no perfect solution. In the following days, more family members reached out. Her grandmother called, crying, "Sarah, please make up with your sister. I'm 82 years old. I want to see my granddaughters together before I die." Cousin David sent a long message about forgiveness and family above all. Even her father, who had held back so far, said at dinner, "Sarah, I'm behind you. But I'm worried this fight will never heal." Only Mark stayed firmly by her side. "This is emotional blackmail," he said angrily. "Your grandmother is using her age as a weapon. Emma is manipulating the whole family. This isn't okay." "But what if they're right? What if I'm going too far?" "You're not going too far. You set a reasonable boundary. Emma is the one creating drama." Sarah wanted to believe him. But the pressure was enormous. Then, 3 weeks before the wedding, Sarah received an email from Aunt Caroline. "Dear Sarah, after careful consideration, Peter and I have decided not to come to your wedding. We cannot in good conscience support a celebration where our niece is excluded. We hope you understand. We still love you." Sarah read the email 3 times. Then she started crying. Aunt Caroline was one of her favorite aunts. She had always supported Sarah, had been there for important moments in her life. And now, this. Mark found her in tears again. "Caroline isn't coming," Sarah sobbed. "And probably Peter isn't either." Mark took her in his arms. "Their loss. Is it? Or is it my loss? I'm losing my family because of this wedding." "You're not losing them. They're choosing not to come. That's not your fault." But it felt like her fault. That night, Sarah couldn't sleep. She went through her options again and again. She could give in. Invite Jake. Make Emma happy. Keep the family together. But at what cost? Wouldn't she then spend the rest of her life wondering why she didn't stand up for herself at her own wedding? On the other hand, was it worth it? Was it really so important that one person didn't come? She thought about all the stories she'd heard. Families torn apart over weddings. Siblings who didn't speak for years. Was she about to become part of one of those stories? The next morning, Sarah had an idea. She would propose a compromise. One last attempt. She called Emma. This time Emma actually answered. "What do you want?" Emma's voice was cold. "I've been thinking. About a compromise. I'm listening. Jake can come to the ceremony. He can be there in the church. But at the reception afterwards, he's not invited. The reception is only for close friends and family." Silence. "That's your compromise? He can watch you get married for an hour but not celebrate with me?" "Emma, that's more than I originally offered. It's still not enough. Either he's fully welcome or not at all." "Emma, please. I'm trying to find a solution here." "The solution is simple, Sarah. Treat Jake like a human being. Invite him to your wedding." "Done." "I can't do that." "Then we can't continue." Emma hung up. Sarah stared at her phone. She had tried. Really tried. But Emma wouldn't compromise. It was all or nothing. Fine, Sarah thought. Then it will be nothing. She called the caterer and reduced the guest count. Emma was officially uninvited. But she went one step further. She decided to make it in writing. Clear and unambiguous. She wrote Emma an email. "Emma. After our conversation yesterday, I've made a difficult decision. Since you made it clear that you'll only come to the wedding if Jake is invited, and since I will not be inviting Jake, your invitation is hereby withdrawn as well. This breaks my heart. I wanted you to be there on my most important day. But you made your choice, and now I'm making mine. I still love you. I hope that someday in the future we'll find a way to heal this situation. But for now, the decision is made. Sarah." She pressed send before she could change her mind. Emma responded within minutes. "Wow. You actually uninvited me from your wedding. Your own sister. I hope your perfect day is worth it. Because you just destroyed our relationship forever. Don't ever contact me again." Sarah stared at the screen, her hands shaking. What had she just done? The weeks leading up to the wedding were the hardest of Sarah's life. The family drama didn't end with Emma's invitation. In fact, it only got worse. Within 24 hours of Sarah's email to Emma, her phone exploded with calls and messages. Her grandmother called, more upset than Sarah had ever heard her. "How could you do this? Uninvite your own sister? I raised you better than this." Aunt Caroline sent a scathing message. "I thought you were better than this, Sarah. This is cruel and unnecessary." Even some of her cousins, who had been neutral until now, reached out expressing their disappointment. The family was officially divided. Team Emma versus Team Sarah. Her mother Linda was caught in the middle, trying desperately to mediate but making things worse. "Maybe you could talk to Emma one more time," she pleaded with Sarah. "Mom, I tried. She won't budge." "But she's your sister. And I'm your daughter. Why aren't you supporting me?" Linda started crying. "I am supporting you. I don't want to lose both of you over this." Sarah's father took a different approach. He called Sarah one evening, his voice firm but kind. "Sarah, I want you to know something. Your mother and I will be at your wedding. We support your decision, even if we wish things were different." Sarah felt tears welling up. "Really? Even with everything that's happened?" "Yes. You set a boundary. That's your right. Emma chose not to respect it. That's on her, not you. But what about the rest of the family? Let me worry about that. You focus on your wedding." Despite her father's support, the constant conflict was taking its toll. Sarah was losing weight, not sleeping well, snapping at Mark over small things. "Maybe we should just elope," she said one night, half serious. Mark pulled her close. "We're not letting them take this away from us. We're having our wedding, with the people who truly support us." Jessica, her maid of honor, was a rock throughout everything. "I've been doing some math," Jessica said over coffee one week before the wedding. "Out of your original 120 guests, how many actually cancelled because of Emma?" Sarah had been avoiding this calculation. "I don't know. Maybe 10? 8, actually. I checked your RSVP spreadsheet. 8 people out of 120. That's less than 7%. Sarah blinked. "Really? It feels like everyone." "That's because the 8 who cancelled are being the loudest. But 112 people are still coming. 112 people who love you and Mark and want to celebrate with you." This perspective helped. Sarah started focusing on who was coming instead of who wasn't. The bridal party, Jessica and her 3 other bridesmaids rallied around her. They organized a spa day the week before the wedding. "No family drama allowed today," Jessica declared. "Today is about pampering the bride." For a few hours, Sarah forgot about Emma, about Jake, about the family war. She laughed with her friends, got a massage, felt almost normal again. But at night, alone with her thoughts, the guilt crept back. Was she being stubborn? Selfish? Was her perfect day worth losing her sister? She shared these thoughts with her therapist. Yes, she'd started seeing a therapist to cope with all of this. The therapist, Dr. Martinez, asked her a simple question. "If you invited Jake and Emma came, and Jake caused a scene at your wedding, maybe got drunk, made inappropriate comments, created drama, how would you feel?" Sarah thought about it. "I would be furious. I would regret inviting him. And if you don't invite them, and your wedding is peaceful and beautiful, but Emma isn't there, how would you feel?" "Sad. But, maybe also relieved?" Dr. Martinez nodded. "There's no perfect solution here, Sarah. Every choice has consequences. The question is, which consequences can you live with better?" That night, Sarah made peace with her decision. She couldn't control Emma's choices. She couldn't make her family understand. All she could control was her own boundaries and her own wedding. 3 days before the wedding, Sarah's mother called with unexpected news. "Sarah, I talked to Emma." Sarah's heart raced. "And?" She's really hurt. But I think, deep down, she knows she pushed you too far." She didn't say it directly, but I could tell. "Is she going to come?" Long pause. "No. She said she can't. Her pride won't let her." "But Sarah." I think someday, maybe years from now, you two will work this out. Years? Sarah felt her chest tighten. Healing takes time. But your sisters. That bond doesn't break easily, even when it bends. The night before the wedding, Sarah couldn't sleep. She lay in bed at the hotel. She and Mark had decided to stay separately the night before, keeping tradition, and stared at the ceiling. Her phone buzzed. A text message. From Emma. Sarah's hand shook as she opened it. I know I said not to contact me. But I wanted to say something. Tomorrow is your big day. And even though I won't be there, even though I'm still angry, I hope it's everything you dreamed of. You deserve to be happy. Maybe someday we can fix this. But not yet. Not now. Have a beautiful wedding, Sarah. Sarah read the message 5 times. She started typing a response, deleted it, typed again, deleted again. Finally, she wrote, "Thank you. I love you, Emma. Always." Emma didn't respond. But that was okay. For the first time in months, Sarah felt a weight lift from her shoulders. Tomorrow was her wedding day. And it would be beautiful, even without her sister there. Maybe especially because she had stood up for herself. The bridesmaids laughed, took photos, helped Sarah into her dress. When Sarah looked at herself in the mirror, fully dressed, hair and makeup done, she started crying. Happy tears, she quickly clarified as Jessica rushed over with tissues. You look absolutely stunning, Jessica whispered. Sarah's parents arrived to see her before the ceremony. Her mother gasped when she saw her. My beautiful daughter. Her father had to wipe his eyes. You look just like your mother did on our wedding day. For a moment, Sarah thought her mother might bring up Emma. But Linda just hugged her tightly and whispered, I'm so proud of you. For everything. The ceremony was at an elegant vineyard, the September sun casting golden light over everything. As Sarah stood at the entrance, waiting for her processional, she took a deep breath. She glanced at the seats. She noticed the empty ones, Aunt Caroline and Uncle Peter weren't there. Emma's chair stood empty. But then she looked at who was there. Her father, waiting to walk her down the aisle, pride shining in his eyes. Mark at the altar, looking at her like she was the only person in the world. Jessica and her bridesmaids, beaming with joy. 112 people who loved her and supported her. The music started. Sarah took her father's arm. Ready? He whispered. Ready. They walked down the aisle. Mark's face when he saw her, Sarah would remember that look for the rest of her life. Pure love. Pure joy. The ceremony was beautiful. The officiant spoke about commitment, about building a life together, about choosing your partner every day. When it came time for the vows, Mark went first. Sarah, you are the strongest person I know. These past months, I've watched you navigate impossible situations with grace and courage. You stood up for yourself, for us, for our future together. That's just one of the infinite reasons why I love you. I promise to always stand by your side, to support your boundaries, and to build a life with you based on mutual respect and love. Sarah was crying before she even started her vows. Mark, you've been my rock through everything. When I doubted myself, you believed in me. When I wanted to give up, you reminded me what we're fighting for. Marrying you today isn't just about this wedding. It's about choosing you, choosing us, choosing a future where we prioritize our relationship above all else. I love you. I choose you. Always. The officiant pronounced them husband and wife. Mark kissed her, and the crowd erupted in applause. Walking back down the aisle as Mr. and Mrs., Sarah felt something she hadn't felt in months, pure, uncomplicated happiness. The reception was exactly what she'd envisioned. Elegant, joyful, filled with laughter and dancing. During the cocktail hour, several family members approached Sarah. Her grandmother, who had been so upset about Emma, hugged her tightly. You made the right choice, she whispered. I'm sorry I didn't see it sooner. Sometimes we old folks get stuck in old ways. Even Cousin David, who had sent that message about family above all, apologized. I didn't understand the full situation, he admitted. Emma was only telling her side. I'm sorry I judged you. Sarah graciously accepted all the apologies, but she didn't dwell on them. Tonight wasn't about the drama. It was about celebration. The dinner was delicious, the speeches were heartfelt. Jessica's maid of honor speech had everyone laughing and crying. "I've known Sarah since we were 7 years old," Jessica said. "And in all those years, I've watched her always put everyone else first. Today, she finally put herself first. And I've never been more proud to call her my best friend." The dance floor was packed all night. Sarah danced with her father, with Mark, with her friends. Around 10 p.m., Sarah stepped outside for a moment of fresh air. She stood on the vineyard terrace, looking out at the twinkling lights. Mark found her there. "Hey, Mrs. Johnson. Everything okay?" Sarah smiled. "Everything's perfect. No regrets?" Sarah thought about it honestly. Did she wish Emma was here? Yes. Did she wish things had gone differently? Of course. But did she regret standing her ground? No, she said firmly. No regrets. Mark pulled her close. Good. Because this is just the beginning of our life together. They stood there for a moment, watching the stars, listening to the music and laughter from inside. Then they went back to their party, to their people, to their celebration. The night ended with a sparkler send-off. All the guests lined up with sparklers, creating a tunnel of light. As Sarah and Mark ran through, laughing, heading towards their getaway car, Sarah felt something unexpected. Not sadness about who wasn't there, but gratitude for who was. She had lost some relationships. But she had gained something too: self-respect, clear boundaries, and the knowledge that she could stand up for herself even when it was hard. The car drove away, "Just married" written on the back window, tin cans rattling behind them. Sarah looked back at the venue one last time, then turned to Mark. "Ready for our honeymoon?" "Ready for everything," he said. And she believed him. So, was Sarah wrong? The internet is divided on this question. Let's look at both perspectives. Team Sarah argues. Sarah set a reasonable boundary. Jake had repeatedly shown disrespectful behavior at family events. It's Sarah's wedding, she has the right to invite who she wants. Emma made this situation about herself instead of supporting her sister's special day. Emma could have come alone, celebrated her sister, and introduced Jake to the family at a less important event later. The family above all argument is manipulation. True family respects boundaries. True family doesn't demand you sacrifice your peace and comfort for their preferences. Sarah tried multiple times to compromise and communicate. Emma was the one who refused to bend. Team Emma argues. Sarah is being classist and judgmental. So what if Jake doesn't fit her perfect image? Emma loves him, and that should be enough. Weddings are about joining families together. Excluding someone's significant other, regardless of how long they've been together, is cruel. Sarah made an exception for other guests plus ones, but not for her own sister. That's hypocritical. Blood is thicker than water. Sarah should have prioritized family harmony over her perfect day. The fact that multiple family members sided with Emma suggests Sarah might actually be in the wrong. But here's the truth. This situation isn't about right or wrong. It's about compatibility of values. Sarah values respect, appropriateness, and boundaries. Emma values acceptance, freedom, and unconditional support. Neither is inherently wrong. They're just different. The real issue is that both sisters dug in their heels instead of finding middle ground. Could Sarah have been more flexible? Maybe. Could Emma have been more understanding? Definitely. But once pride and hurt feelings enter the equation, logic flies out the window. The update, 1 year later. Sarah and Mark just celebrated their first anniversary. The marriage is strong, built on mutual respect and support. Sarah's relationship with Emma? Still fractured. They've exchanged a few text messages on birthdays, but nothing substantial. Emma and Jake are still together, though rumors suggest it's rocky. Some family relationships healed. Others didn't. Aunt Caroline eventually apologized and they've rebuilt their connection. Her grandmother came around after the wedding. But the biggest change? Sarah learned that sometimes, protecting your peace means accepting that not everyone will understand or agree with your choices. And maybe that's okay. She doesn't lose sleep anymore wondering if she was wrong. She made the best decision she could with the information she had. That's all anyone can do. So, I'll ask you, am I wrong? Was Sarah justified in uninviting her sister? Or did she take things too far? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. And if you enjoyed this story, hit that like button and subscribe for more real-life drama and moral dilemmas. Because trust me, families have been creating drama since the beginning of time. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.